The 7 chapters Jacob wrote are precious and include the provoking allegory of the olive vineyard from the writings of the prophet Zenos. Jacob gave the record to his son Enos, a worthy man who told how he wrestled with the Lord and received forgiveness of his sins. His words are worthy of a prophet. Enos gave the record to his son Jerem, who wrote that the prophets persuaded the people to look forward unto the Messiah and believe in him as though he already was. And I, Jerem, do not write more, for the plates are small. But behold, my brethren, ye can go to the other large plates of Nephi. For behold, upon them the records of our wars are engraven according to the writings of the kings. Jerem gave the record to his son Omni, who confessed, I of myself am a wicked man, and have not kept the statutes and commandments of the Lord as I ought to have done. It may seem strange that a book is named after him, but even this self-confessed wicked man knew the sacred nature of the record and delivered it to his son Amram for safekeeping. Amram gave the record to his brother Chemish. Now I, Chemish, write what few things I write in the same book with my brother. For behold, I saw the last which he wrote, that he wrote it with his own hand, and he wrote it in the day that he delivered them unto me. Chemish gave the records to his son Abinadom, who wrote, I know of no revelation save that which has been written, neither prophecy. Wherefore that which is sufficient is written. Abinadom's son, Amaleki, was the last to write on the small plates. A better man than his father, he told how Mosiah discovered the Mulekite people. Amaleki said, These plates are full, and having no seed, and knowing King Benjamin to be a just man before the Lord, wherefore I shall deliver up these plates unto him. Benjamin, who is both prophet and king, took the small plates and put them with the other large plates which contained the record which had been handed down by the kings. It was at this point that the small plates of Nephi, the sacred history handed down from father to son, and the large plates of Nephi, the secular history kept by the kings, came together. And that is where Mormon found them more than 400 years later. When Mormon was a boy of 10, Amram, who had received the record from his father Amos II, told him where they were hidden. When he was 24 years old, he was to take the large plates of Nephi, and the remainder shall ye leave in the place where they are. Mormon began to abridge the large plates. When he came to the reign of King Benjamin, surely he read his testimony that the small plates of Nephi are true, and we can know of their surety. Can we doubt that Benjamin's testimony inspired Mormon to return to Jashon and look for that precious record? Mormon wrote, After I had made an abridgment from the large plates of Nephi down to the reign of this King Benjamin, of whom Amaleki spake, I searched among the records which had been delivered into my hands. Those words, searched among, assure that there were many records. And I found these plates which contained this small account of the prophets from Jacob down to the reign of this King Benjamin, and also many of the words of Nephi, and the things which are upon these plates pleasing me, because of the prophecies of the coming of Christ. Wherefore I chose these things to finish my record upon them, which remainder of my record I shall take from the large plates of Nephi. And I cannot write the 100th part of the things of my people. But behold, I shall take these small plates, which contain these prophesyings and revelations, and put them, as they were written, without abridgment, with the remainder of my record. For they are choice unto me, and I know they will be choice unto my brethren. And I do this for a wise purpose, for thus it whispereth me, according to the workings of the Spirit of the Lord which is in me. And now I do not know all things, but the Lord knoweth all things which are to come. Wherefore he worketh in me to do according to his will. And my prayer to God is concerning my brethren, that they may once again come to the knowledge of God, yea, the redemption of Christ. I have the conviction that Mormon's reading of the small plates of Nephi greatly influenced what he chose from the large plates to include in the rest of his abridgment. For while we have some history of the people, we have more preaching which is sacred, and revelation which is great, and prophesying. Being able to choose but 100th part, Mormon chose the better part. He was, however, not able to resist putting in a generous amount of military science and tactics, for he was a general, a remarkable human insight, a testimony. Mormon was drawn to the prophecies concerning the coming of Christ. The inspiration that came to him as he abridged the records resulted in his work being, indeed, another testament of Jesus Christ. Mormon finished the abridgment and wrote of his last days. He then suffered death at the hands of the Lamanites. His son Moroni finished his record. Moroni then abridged the plates of the Jaredites as something of an appendix to the record. Later he wrote the obvious, I have not perished, and added his own Book of Mormon. The prophet Joseph Smith left a description of the plates as they were delivered to him, and this replica is of the proper size. In order to compare this set of plates with the Book of Mormon as we have it today, we will add these dividers. He began by translating the large plates of Nephi and had translated 116 written pages. It was at that time that Martin Harris lost the translation. The prophet Joseph was instructed not to retranslate that. He began then with the translation of the small plates of Nephi, which had been included in the record anciently by Mormon because he considered them to be of such worth. The small plates of Nephi was the spiritual religious history. Mormon included an explanation of what he had done and why he had done that. The prophet Joseph Smith translated those words and then continued on with the translation of the large plates of Nephi as they had been abridged by Mormon anciently. When Mormon had completed the abridgment of the large plates of Nephi, he wrote his own Book of Mormon, which is included in the text. He did not finish that work. His son Moroni added the last few chapters. Then Moroni abridged the record of the Jaredites, the 24 gold plates, and included it in the record as the Book of Ether. The prophet Joseph Smith translated that and found at the end of that Moroni's own book. Our Book of Mormon, then, compared to the plates, does not contain the first part of the abridgment of the large plates of Nephi. It contains all of the rest, and then there was the sealed portion of the plates, which the prophet Joseph Smith never opened. Surely the purposes of the Lord were being worked out when Nephi concentrated on the things of his soul, the preachings which were sacred, and the revelations which were great, and the prophesying. And when Mormon placed the small plates of Nephi intact, without abridgment, into his record. Centuries later, the prophet Joseph Smith translated the record of Lehi from the plates of Mormon down to the reign of King Benjamin. Then his manuscript, consisting of 116 pages, was lost or stolen. The sacred history on the small plates of Nephi became the providential replacement. At that time, the Lord consoled Joseph Smith and confirmed the purpose as stated on the title page. Remember that it is not the work of God that is frustrated, but the work of men. And for this very purpose are these plates preserved, which contain these records, that the promises of the Lord might be fulfilled, which he made to his people, that they may believe the gospel and rely upon the merits of Jesus Christ, and be glorified through faith in his name, and that through their repentance they might be saved. To present the Book of Mormon properly to others, we must know that the message of the book is a testimony to the world that Jesus is the Christ. That message reoccurs through the pages like a golden thread. Indeed, the Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ. Long before Christ was born in the flesh, Nephi recorded visions of his ministry which have no equal in the Old Testament. You remember that Lehi had a vision in which he saw the tree of life. Nephi was deeply moved by the things his father had told him and wrote, "Believing that the Lord was able to make them known unto me, as I sat pondering in my heart, I was caught away in the Spirit of the Lord. I beheld that he was in the form of a man, yet nevertheless I knew that it was the Spirit of the Lord." Nephi desired to behold the things which my father saw. Before that was granted, there was a test, a question. The Spirit said to him, "Believest thou that thy father saw the tree of which he hath spoken?" The answer shows his great faith. "Yea, thou knowest that I believe all the words of my father." After he was shown the vision of the tree of life, the Spirit asked, "What desirest thou?" When Nephi replied he wanted to know the interpretation of the vision, there was open to him that supernal vision in which he saw a virgin, beautiful and fair. The virgin bearing a child in her arms. The ministry of the Son of God. John the Baptist, the prophet who should prepare the way. The 12 others following Jesus. The heavens opened, and angels ministered unto them. The multitudes blessed and healed. Christ lifted upon the cross and slain for the sins of the world. He saw the wisdom and pride of the world and the fate of those who fight against the 12 apostles of the Lamb. That testimony of Christ is repeated through the pages of history to the crowning event, the appearance of the Lord to the Nephites in fulfillment of the prophecy. The account of his appearance to the Nephites is consistent with the New Testament account of his ministry in Jerusalem. He called and gave authority to 12. He announced that the law of Moses was fulfilled. He taught as he taught in Jerusalem. He blessed and healed them. He blessed their little children. He instituted the sacrament as he had in Jerusalem, with that one crucial difference. When they brought bread, he brake and blessed it, instead of blessing it first, as he did in Jerusalem, for his body then had been broken. He did many other things. He gave a commandment to them concerning the writings of the prophet Isaiah. "And now, behold, I say unto you that ye ought to search the words of Isaiah. Yea, a commandment I give unto you, that ye search these things diligently. For great are the words of Isaiah. For surely he spake as touching all things concerning my people which are of the house of Israel. Therefore it must needs be that he must speak also to the Gentiles. And all things that he spake have been and shall be, even according to the words which he spake.